let's talk reality of wrestling. Booker T's company down in Houston, Texas, or in the Texas tri-state area, where he has a nice little connection with NXT, WWE NXT. He broke a lot of stars that we are watching right now. A lot of up-and-coming stars goes through his company. We had the triumphant return of Vix Rose, aka Alicia Fox, couple that, like, during the summer and everything. It was a good time. I gotta see what's going on with her, because I haven't seen anything come of that. Anyway, so the situation is, this is a wrestler that worked at the Row by the name of Rachel Rose, says that Booker T fired her over a fella that worked also at the Row named Reed. I think, wait a minute, his name, if I can remember, his name is Sean Reed. She claimed Sean Reed was stalking her, and I guess Booker T fired her behind that, because from what I'm gathering is Booker T seems tired of the bullshit, I guess. So when I'm reading the article, it was a couple instances. There was one instance after a show where everybody went to the bar, and this Reed guy tried to hit Rachel Rose, ended up hitting another talent at the Row. The Reed guy actually ran into Booker T in the parking lot, and Booker T didn't know that this guy was an issue, and walked him back into this venue, like a venue that everybody was there, because he just thought the guy was upset and he's making threats. So Booker T thought he was quelling the situation, when it actually was in danger himself, not knowing that this guy is a problem. And a official by the name of Bernhardt was supposed to have told Booker T about this dude, so that he would be aware of the issue that surrounded him. Anybody said, well, why didn't she get a restraining order? Well, she was not actually dating this guy, so she was denied a restraining order according to, I guess, the requirements to get one down in Texas. It's not a shock. You can't just walk into the police department and ask for a restraining order because you want. You can be denied a restraining order if they don't see an imminent threat. So here's a kind of round out where we're at in the story. Is Rachel Rose said that upon speaking to Booker T after the incident down at the venue, she was fired from reality of wrestling, which she felt was unjustified. She felt as if she was effectively cut from the company due to having a stalker, in which she warned the company about. Those familiar with the situation claim she was blamed for causing the problematic personality to be around, even though he'd been warned numerous times to stay away. Now, that statement is loaded. That would be very, very difficult in a court setting. If she was to take Booker T to court for firing her under false pretenses, to say, I warned them about the stalker and they fired me because this guy thinks that I'm riling him up because he thinks I'm single and Booker T didn't protect me, that would be extremely difficult to prove, okay? So, Fightful, they said they did actually contact Booker T, who responded, and he said that yes, there was a fight down at the tavern that everybody goes to after the shows. It's called the Shut Garden Tavern, and it was his opinion that Row Talent should have distanced themselves from Sean Reed instead of confronting him. Row Talent present and past that we spoke to said Reed was well aware that the talent would be there and believed that he did it intentionally as a result. Booker insisted in the timing of the story emerging was due to a meeting at the January 13th Row show that related to loyalty among the wrestlers. We can confirm that we heard this story after Booker T and Reality of Wrestling told their talent that they didn't want their wrestlers working other independent companies in Houston. Booker T was also curious as to why it took a year for the story to emerge, which Rose said was because she feared possible retaliation from Reed and finally felt safe to share the story. Booker called the issue a non-story and pointed to Reality Wrestling's track record of not having similar stories emerge from their company. Booker screamed and cussed at me when he arrived on the scene while I was talking to police at the December incident that it was my fault and I'm the reason people got hurt and arrested. This is what Rachel Rose said that Booker T said to her. Another witness at the bar after the article was published said Sean Reed was kicked out of the show. He went to the bar that he knew we all would go to after the show. Kevin, Booker, and many others told us if Sean is at that bar, you need to leave and we go somewhere else. We'll go to the Whataburger or something. I remember that vividly. We go to the bar, Sean's there, some of us decide that we didn't want to go anywhere else. So while he's sitting there at the actual bar, we're sitting at a table way across the bar. Eventually, more people start piling in, Rachel Rose and others. They're yelling at him, get the fuck out of here, screaming, losing their minds. He was sitting at the bar. They went and antagonized him. 7 wrestlers surrounded him at the bar, and of course, things broke out in violence because that dude felt crazy threatened. I'm not claiming he did nothing wrong. The creepy fuck shouldn't have been at the bar or near the venue, but it's really no shock to anyone that this blew up this way. Things got intense, everyone separated, and then Kevin had to call Booker to bring him in. Booker also got a call from the bar owner. Booker comes in, lines everyone involved in the brawl on the wall and did come down hard on them because the bar owner was great friends with Booker, and it was really embarrassing for Booker to have a local business owner know that his kids caused a bloody fight in a bar. Several of those wrestlers were let go. One person was brought back because he came to Booker with a heartfelt apology for his involvement, and now things are good with him again. But for the others who were asked not to come back to shows, everything was handled very emotionally and blown up. Fightful said they can confirm that multiple wrestlers who claimed they left Row in protest after the situation. One told Fightful that they left because the situation left them feeling unsafe and not protected at the venue after the situation unfolded in light of threats they heard Reed had spoken of. Another witness who wished to remain anonymous said the heat has been so pervasive in this scene for so long, everyone knows about it, and there have been plans in motion from one side to another to try and fuck reality of wrestling. I've heard so many groups of people talk about how they want to take down the Row, and this just feels too close for me. A group of wrestlers, all of whom coincidentally were at New Texas, want to take Row down, and it feels like they're striking at the point where Row is in the most limelight with recent NXT signings they've been bringing in. This feels motivated in a lot of ways that aren't true to the message. Row does not abuse their guys. Row does not treat people unfairly. And I'm bothered that these claims have been made in the first place. Booker T and the other guys there are strict. They're harsh sometimes, but they're fair. They'll let you know you fucked up, you suffered the consequences, and they hope you grow as a person and come back to them. You look at Booker T's track records of arrests and the way he changed his life around. This is a guy who loves second chances. But a lot of people on the opposite side went and started talking a lot of smack. And then the door to rehab, the relationship closed. However, before the publication, Rose spoke about her feelings on the matter. So let's see what Rachel Rose had to say. She said, to speak to the personal side of things, my safety had not been secure for years due to Sean Reed and the lack of support I received from the people in charge at Reality Wrestling, which allowed Sean's actions to escalate the way they did unchecked. This issue is being allowed to fester for so long has resulted in many hours of speaking in person to and on the phone with police, officers, district attorneys, and lawyers because of the situation. I spent and continue to spend a great deal of time in therapy sessions to process trauma related to this incident in hopes of one day fully overcoming my efforts of it. That itself comes with the stigma, but it's all a part of the healing process which I'm learning to navigate and fully embrace. Rose said, overall, I hope what comes out of this is Booker, along with the people placed in charge at his school, implement procedures and protections to ensure all threats were taken seriously in the future. Should they continue to not make students feel safe their priority, I hope at the end the very least, any women who train there are looking for a place to train, see this and are able to make an educated decision before they put their safety into the hands of reality of wrestling. Okay, that's a lot. Now, this Reed, the stalker, he also posted something. Now, I'm gonna try to read as much as possible, and I want to hear what this do, because it's gonna tell me what type of man he is. She feels like Booker T and them did not protect her at these venues, that she feels she let them know I have a stalker, and Bernhardt, the row official, did not relay that message to Booker T, who ended up basically flying blind through all of this. So there was a miscommunication somewhere. So Reed went on to post on his Facebook, yeah, the whole incident was lied about, and she abused the hell out of me to get what she wanted, which was for me to get kicked out of wrestling, so her friends had one less talent to deal with. I never thought we had anything. I was confused by some similarities with our characters and thought maybe she was coming into me. I didn't know if she was single or not because we never really spoke, but I did hit her up once with no reply. That was it. Okay, so I didn't know if she was single or not because we never really spoke. And you reached out with her and she didn't reply. Okay, well, after I got kicked out of the road due to attendance and went to a premiere show to see if I would like to ask them about training, I saw her there but never spoke to her, and she had Blake kick me out, which got me heated because after Row, I felt like I was getting booted out of the business in what was a complete political bullying move. When I say I'd come back and fight them because I was angry, but I cooled off and let it go. After a while went by and I wanted to go up to Booker's to apologize for my late attendance and ask if I'd come back. I did mention that when they let me go after 4 years of cleaning up and setting up their shows and dealing with all the ribbon that comes with the business, and because I was in a horrible mental state, having my own phone hack and sent both Facebook videos and YouTube videos recommend death threats, that yeah, I bought a gun to the school that day. I got let go, but I knew I wasn't going to do anything. I was just angry and seeing red. I had my career halted over being too poor to attend trainings. I went home that day and let go of all that anger for good. I told Booker that show and he at least cited understanding. He acted understanding. I think I know the politics that were being played, and said that he would talk to Row Roster about me coming back. After I watched the show and went to Stud to have a meal by myself, when Kelly confronted me and told me to leave with another wrestler getting in my face, I said not until I was finished eating, and tried to explain how I felt nothing for her and I just wanted to focus on my career. After she came back with the same two wrestlers, others and Kevin, they all were very threatening, told me to leave. I was about to be threatened again, so I said no. They huddled around me like they were about to attack, so I threw my drink in the face and punched him, and only him, while everyone jumped me. At no point did I lay hands on anyone else. After that night in jail, I was let go free, and the judge was pretty understanding of how stupid the situation was. The cold truth is that she likely told to play this up by other wrestlers to get me kicked out because I was being looked at as a possible big talent, which threatening to them. I won't be going back to the road to save Booker the headache, but I'm not quitting wrestling because some diva wants to play game politics with her friends. Your article has at least a few lines in it, and it's a shame that it's even still a story years later when everyone should have grown up so much more since. Last thing I'll say is, if you get into wrestling business, stay away from the cliques and don't let drama interfere with the business itself. Check emotions at the door and do a good job. Okay, listen, I would have to say I don't really see where this is like a scandal. The problem again. It happened in 2021. Over a full year, things were cooking and mixing it up. It doesn't say anything was going on in 2023, and Rachel Rose decides to come out. I am kind of inclined to lean towards the person who said that there are people that want to take down Booker T's company, this other Texas promotion that wants to kind of bump him out the way. That does really sound like something that would be happening out there. Wrestlers are supposed to be protected as best as they can by the promotions. I would agree with that. That's any employee is supposed to have some level of protection at their place of business. But when you leave that place of business, you don't have you don't have like private security surrounding you all the time. The reason why there was no or restraining order put in is because there was no relationship there. I mean, the guy, he said he bought a gun. He's a hothead. He makes terrible decisions. But I kind of believe that something else is going on here, because something is missing from this conversation that I don't think Rachel Rose has shared overall. I don't. If I was going to go into wrestling, I lived in Houston and I had an opportunity to work with Booker T and reality wrestling, I would still go. I would still go and do what I need to do because he has a good reputation. He does. You don't hear nothing from reality wrestling like this. It seems really bizarre that you have a stalker already and you're trying to let your company know that you have a stalker, and the company has a miscommunication somewhere, and now you confronting your stalker with other wrestlers that you put in danger as well because you already knew this guy. It's a lot. I don't really know if this is as big as a deal as Rachel Rose would like it to be. You tell me what you think in the comments. All right, later.